Velede, thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. Niger has officially cut all diplomatic ties with Ukraine. In an official communique aired on RTN, Niger accuses Ukraine of sponsoring TT activities in Mali. They talked about the Senegal ambassador who also came out claiming that they provided intelligence to these TT people to carry out the attack that happened in Tenzawate. They went ahead to talk about how African Union that's supposed to rise up and fight to protect the people in Africa is watching and concerned while things are happening in Africa. They said African Union supposed to be a body that will be fighting for the interests of the people in Africa. But under the watch of African Union, we are seeing that foreign powers come into Africa to turn Africa into a state of perpetual bondage. And the only reason we are seeing that Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso leaders are not knowing peace is because they have decided to move out of oppression, taking full sovereignty of their own life. So the leaders in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso are sending a simple message to the world. They are one. If you touch one, you have touched all. So as long as they are having evidence proving that Ukraine has been meddling in the affairs of Mali, they do not want to have anything to do with them.
For this 8:30 p.m. as the government of Niger has just broken off diplomatic relations with Ukraine. The announcement was made in a statement released today, August 6, 2024 by the Minister of Youth, Culture, Arts and Sports, the government spokesperson. Stay tuned.
Communique. The government of the Republic of Niger has learned with great astonishment and deep indignation of the subversive and unacceptable remarks by Mr. Andriy Yusov, spokesperson for the Ukrainian Military Intelligence Agency, supported by the even more indecent remarks of the Ukrainian ambassador to Senegal, Mr. Yuri Pivovarov, providing unequivocal support to the coalition of terrorist groups responsible for the cowardly and barbaric attack carried out in Timzawaten against the Malian Armed Forces FAMA. While reaffirming its unwavering support for the Malian Armed Forces in their noble fight for freedom and territorial integrity of Mali, the Republic of Niger firmly condemns this act of aggression, synonymous with support for international terrorism and a blatant violation of the United Nations Charter and international law in general. The Republic of Niger calls on the international community to take responsibility in light of Ukraine's deliberate choice to glorify terrorism in a global context where there is unanimous agreement on the necessity to combat this scourge. Moreover, the government of the Republic of Niger notes, not without great bitterness, the silence of the African states, and the African Union in particular, in the face of the malicious attempt to transform the Sahel into a theater of ideological and strategic confrontation between foreign powers whose aim is to break the momentum of emancipation, the quest for true sovereignty and socio-economic development initiated by the Confederation AES, Alliance of Sahel States. He therefore calls on all countries that cherish peace and justice to unequivocally denounce these subversive actions that threaten the stability of the African continent and risk exacerbating the suffering of the already severely afflicted Sahelian populations. Also, considering the seriousness of the situation and the acknowledged and assumed involvement of Ukraine in the aggression against Mali, the government of the Republic of Niger, fully in solidarity with the government and people of Mali, decides in full sovereignty in accordance with the Vienna Convention of 1961 on diplomatic relations and in application of the treaty establishing the AES Confederation, the following measures. One, the immediate severance of diplomatic relations between the Republic of Niger and Ukraine. Two, the referral to the United Nations Security Council to expedite on the Ukrainian aggression and its sponsors. Finally, the Republic of Niger pays a vibrant tribute to all the civilian and military victims who fell on the field of honor and bows before their memory. Long live the AES Confederation. May God bless the people of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, done in Niamey on August 6, 2024.
As Africans, we should understand we are our own problem. Africa has been a place where anybody at all comes in and do whatever. And our leaders are watching. Everybody is watching. But we have the same African Union traveling all the way to Mali to tell the Malian president to give way for election. So what we are seeing, like Julius Maada Bio said, they protect borders instead of protecting us, the people. So when you look at all the things that they are doing, nobody will tell you that what Julius Maada Bio said is actually true. If you are not protecting borders, why do we have people coming into the continent to the point that they themselves are voicing out that they provided intelligence to people to cause destabilization in a sovereign nation, simple because that nation has decided to move away from democracy? Like they're asking, is it a crime for an African nation to fight to control their resources? Is it that ours is to be on the soil of Africa where our resources are taken out? These leaders are showing us the unity that our leaders have been preaching in African Union. Why do we have an organization called African Union? We are seeing how Europeans are always together fighting. Look at what is happening in EU Parliament, teaming together to pass resolutions against the leaders in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, simple because one nation has been kicked out. France has been kicked out of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. But what do we see happening in Africa? Because the leaders in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso decided to move out of democracy, all that African Union keeps preaching to these leaders isn't about how good they are leading their people, changing their narrative. It's about how they will send us back into democracy, into election. Is it only democracy you can give to us? Are you elected to protect democracy or to protect the people? African leaders, we are asking you. To the point that Africa has become a place that any nation at all from outside of the continent can come here and do anything at all. Yet you, these same leaders, can never go there and have your way. What else do we need? Is it that our unity is only when we sit in Addis Ababa? Is that when we always talk about unity? And after that, the unity dies? Must we continue to be protecting the borders instead of protecting the people, like Julius Maada Bio said, that you protect borders instead of protecting the people? And for how long will you continue to protect the borders? Are the borders so much important than we, the people that are living in Africa? Whereby we can never have the organization called African Union rising to fight with its members when they are under pressure? Must we continue to be serving people's interests, living our own? So is it that our life, our future, our everything is only when we are reading scripts? Like Captain Ibrahim Traore said, even these scripts that they read to us during their African Union Summit is written for them. Even before they issue a statement, that statement has been written for them. Why? Why are we the ones that are doing these things to our own selves? We hear beautiful speeches and that ends it. When we need our leaders to prove to us that the African is actually rising, we don't see it. Simple because they have decided to take their sovereignty into their own hands, it has become a crime because they have refused to be under the oppressor's governance system. If truly we are free and we are independent, like the Sierra Leone First Lady would ask us, what shows we are independent? Because our resources, everything is still controlled. So if, let's say, we are truly independent, like the way you claim, why would a sovereign nation decide that I will now want to take control over my security, to take control of my resources, and it becomes a problem to the world. And we have our leaders watching, the same leaders who are preaching Agenda 2063 to us. We have a long way to go as a people, and we need to wake up. In this modern world, we shouldn't be doing these things to our own selves. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world, in Africa, West Africa, and in Niger.